Hey, I'm Randy Younger, New York City's go to film enthusiast. Every week, I dive deep into the world of cinema with special guests from the New York City film scene. Whether I'm interviewing industry insiders or comparing the latest releases, there's always something for every movie lover. Join me as I explore the magic of film and discover what makes these movies unforgettable. Hey guys, I'm Randy Younger, and there's another episode of Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. And this is a very special episode because we have broadcasting royalty in our presence, and a large part of the reason why I'm doing this show. We've got media personality, author, and recurring guest film critic to the show, Mr. Evan Ginsberg. Welcome back, Evan.
Great to be on again, Randy. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. This is amazing. Love having you on. You're very knowledgeable about film as well as wrestling and entertainment in general. I know you were the associate producer on the Mickey Rourke film, The Wrestler, and that's very, very cool, I must say.
Thank
And we're
you.
going to get into that a little bit later in the show because I know you have a new book out. So I want to hear all about that as well after we review two very good films, two films that have been nominated for Academy Awards for Best Picture, among many other accolades. Both films are very intense, very engrossing, and based on true stories. And I
Right.
could not get my eyes off each film, and they are really among the best of 2024. The first one we're going to discuss, this one is called I'm Still Here, and it is told in Portuguese, and it's a true story. Basically, the plot is a mother is forced to reinvent herself when her family's life is shattered by an act of arbitrary violence during the tightening grip of a military dictatorship in Brazil, 1971. Now, the film is actually based on the real life politician Marcelo Rubens Paiva, his 2015 memoir of the same name. The film was directed by Walter Salles, and it stars Fernanda Torres as the wife who basically wants answers. She wants justice for what's happening to her family, specifically her husband, and the abuse that the dictatorship, the soldiers in Brazil are, uh, affecting her family. It's a really intense story. It's really gripping. I thought it was directed exceptionally well, and Fernanda Torres, I think, deserves an Oscar for this. Evan, what did you think of I'm Still Here?
I think you have to preface that with the film starts with the family having this joyful,
Hmm.
eclectic, happy life. And one day there's a knock on the door and they come and take the father, who's a former congressman,
Right.
and never to be seen again.
Yep.
And ultimately, it's not only a political drama, it's a family drama because that very day, the mother, the matriarch, is taking care of five kids.
Hmm. Hmm.
Father's gone, and she's trying to track him down, and they abduct her and one of her daughters and put them through psychological torture and possibly more. It's a great film. It's riveting. It's powerful, and when the credits roll, you see actual photos of the real family, and I just sat there drained. I was trying to get the strength once it finally ended to leave, and here imagine you have this wonderful family, wonderful life, and one day, as you said, it's shattered.
Hmm.
That's what I'm Still Here is about, and I would recommend it to anyone. It's great film.
Yeah, I definitely think yeah, top maybe top five, top three for me of the year.
Oh,
This is,
absolutely,
you know,
absolutely. It would stand up in any year. And let me just add this: Fernanda Torres.
mm,
What a great performance!
yeah.
There's nothing melodramatic. She's trying to hold herself together
Mm,
to care for these five kids of all ages, from
mhm,
little kids to college age.
mhm.
And meanwhile, you know, she doesn't know what's going to happen next. And the dad's gone. He's just
Yeah.
gone. And how do you wrap your head around something like that? And
Like,
she's
yeah,
tremendous, tremendous actress.
it's total uncertainty. She has no idea what's going on. She's racing around town trying to find answers. And I can't, you're really in this woman's shoes and you feel it as she's on the streets of I believe it's Rio. And I just want to get back to the director, Walter Salles, who is fantastic. And he shot Rio so beautifully, kind of like a shaky cam. And like you said, the opening sequences focus on the family. So we have like a really, really, bright, positive setting, which is totally destroyed by the military. And then things get very, very dark very quickly. So I think it's a testament to the director, it's a testament to the cinematographer, and also the editor. And this film, I can't praise it enough. Based on a true story, I can't believe this stuff actually happened in Brazil. And it's really sad that this family.
Well, they said that it affected probably 200,000 people, and hundreds were never found. They would literally drop bodies into the ocean
Mm,
after torturing and killing them. And you never find out exactly what happened to the father. He's just gone. And eventually, well, I don't want to give out too many spoilers, but
yes.
that is the theme of the movie, and you're going to know this pretty much going in anyway. But
Mm,
it plays as a family drama, it plays as a political drama, and it works also as a thriller because
yeah.
you are involved in this.
Yes.
You can't turn your head away from the screen. It's really a great film and deserving of all the kudos. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely deserving.
So Demi Moore, she's the front runner right now for the Academy Award for Best Actress in a leading role. I think Fernanda was a lot better. Did you see The Substance, Evan?
I have not seen the
Okay.
substance yet, so I wouldn't be qualified to say.
Fair, fair.
But look, I'm a cinephile, and I am saying that Fernanda Torres's performance is as great. This is Jenna Rollins level great. I mean,
Mhm.
this is a great performance, and I'm pulling for her. You know,
Yeah. And so it's funny too because her mother, Fernanda Montenegro, was also nominated for Academy Award for Best Actress in the same category. And I believe she was the first Brazilian to do that. And her daughter followed in her footsteps, and it's amazing. And I really hope she gets a statue next Sunday. So we'll see. Again, beautiful film. Even though there's some really ugly, ugly moments, it's a gorgeous film all the way through. And yeah, I saw it like a few nights ago, and I'm still digesting it. And I definitely want to see it again. I think it's that type of movie, you know.
let me add this. When you see a great film, you wake up the next morning thinking about it. It's like
Yeah.
the first thing in your head. And that's how this affected me
Mm,
because it's very disturbing.
right.
You have this loving family and it's absolutely devastated. And people got away with this for the longest time, the political regime.
Right.
And it's a great injustice. And
Hmm.
her trying to keep herself together for the sake of the children, but you could see the pain in her eyes.
Oh yeah.
This is an actress.
Yeah.
This is an actress.
She's very, very expressive, totally. And you're with her on this journey. It's a really horrible adventure that she has to go through, but no spoilers. Yeah, it's just it's a really great film, and I can't praise it enough. Also, I wanted to mention that the film was the target of an unsuccessful boycott by the Brazilian far right, which denies that the regime was a dictatorship. So it was an unsuccessful boycott. So yeah, there's still some political people out there who think otherwise. So fair enough. Agree
We're
to
here to
disagree.
review the movie.
Right, right, right. Let's not
Yeah, I
get
don't.
political. Sorry. All right. So I'm still here. I believe it's still playing in select theaters. If you could find it, check it out. You'll not be disappointed. It's fantastic. All right, so the next film is also up for the Academy Award for Best Picture, and this film was also really beautiful to look at, fantastic performances as well, and just great direction as well. I'm talking about Nickel Boys, and now this film is based on the Pulitzer Prize winning novel by Colson Whitehead called Nickel Boys, and it chronicles the powerful friendship between two young African American men navigating the harrowing trials of reform school together in Florida. And the things that these kids go through, again, no spoilers here either. They go through a lot, and it's a strong film. It deals with racism. It deals with the society and family and friendship and redemption and just trying to basically survive in the 1960s when there was a lot of racism. I know there's still racism now, but this was a very potent period of time. The 60s were not pleasant. And these two boys, they go through the ringer. It's a bit much at times, but it's a quality film. I want to mention, however, the camera style. It's a first person viewpoint most of the time of the main character and his friend. Both actors actually are young men. They're very, very talented young actors. Ethan Harisi and Brandon Wilson. Ethan actually plays Elwood, the main character who's basically wrongfully sent to a juvenile detention camp or the center. And there he meets another young gentleman who is also, going through the same stuff. He's played by Brandon Wilson. And these two actors, they were fantastic, I must say. Fantastic as the Nickel Boys. There's also a very good supporting performance from damn, I am gonna butcher this name. Anjanou Ellis Taylor, who plays Elwood's grandmother. She's fantastic. She's got some really great scenes, very powerful moments. And yeah, Nickel Boys up for Best Picture as well. And it's a solid film. I didn't enjoy it, but I respected it. I mean, it's a lot going on and it's very heavy. I wouldn't say like it's an enjoyable experience. But Evan, thoughts on Nickel Boys?
Um, they dropped this kid into hell. Basically, that's it in 10 words or less.
Right.
He's heading to college, hitches a ride. He hitched the ride with the wrong guy.
I'd say so, yeah.
Next thing you know, he's in this horrendous facility
Right.
where torture, rape,
Right.
and murder is the norm, and they're
Right.
trying to survive.
Right.
And this is also a true story.
Right.
So there
Yeah.
are comparisons between the two films. I'm still here in Nickel Boys because you have these all-powerful regimes doing these horrific, crimes with impunity,
Yeah.
basically.
Like
And
total freedom, total like the laws don't apply here for each
exactly,
film.
exactly. This was
Yeah.
segregated Florida in the 60s.
Right.
I'm still here was Brazil in the early 70s.
Right.
So there are some real comparisons between the two films. And
Yeah.
Nickel Boys, it's like poetry because you're seeing things through their eyes,
Right.
and there's moments of real horror and
Mm.
there's moments of real beauty also. It's a very special film, and I would wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody. But as you said, it's not a happy film.
No.
It's
No.
it's rough, and you're going to walk out of there pretty shell-shocked.
Right.
But there's no denying the talent of the director, the cinematographer, and these young actors who are brutalized.
Yeah.
And I I was drained once again. I was drained when it was over.
Yeah.
But there's also, let me say this, in both films, there's hope. And you
Mhm.
you you use the word redemption because of friends, because of family, because of fighting for what's right,
Right.
changes were eventually made without giving out too many
Right.
spoilers. But I wholeheartedly recommend both of these films.
Yeah. Both films, yeah, like you said, they have a glimmer of hope. And that's what that drives these people in these films. And if you don't have hope, then all is lost. You have nothing. And yeah, especially Nickel Boys, it's the tale of these two kids, and yeah, they're really there. They're just trying to survive. They're trying to get through the day without getting killed, which is, yeah. It actually reminded me of the movie, I think it was 1995 or six, called Sleepers. I don't know if you're familiar
Oh
with that,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
they had the
Terrible.
it was yeah, similar conditions in a juvenile detention center in New York. And yeah, they basically are abused and beyond recognition. And then later on, they get revenge. If you haven't seen it, everybody, but this one doesn't deal with revenge. This kind of
Well,
just,
legal revenge in a
yeah, true, true. It's a different type. Not,
but
but
they found innumerable unmarked graves at this
right,
academy. Use the word ironically, academy.
right.
Yeah. So
It's horrific. It's really,
it's a painful film to watch, but it's a beautiful film to watch.
yeah.
And the director has a unique style because you're seeing everything through both the main character's point of view, and many times
Hmm.
it's almost bewildering because it's strange angles and
Right.
but it's a beautiful film to look at also.
That first person style can be a little jarring or off-putting to some audiences. I enjoyed it. I like that style a lot. The director's name is Ramel Ross, who I've never heard of actually, but I think he did a fantastic job.
He
He's a
said he
young,
did one critically acclaimed documentary prior, and
right. It's
this is
called
his second film, so much
Yeah,
respect.
and this actually felt almost like a documentary in a way, the visual style. His first film, the documentary is called Hale County This Evening. Hale County This Evening from 2018. And he earned a Peabody Award and nominations for Oscars for that and other awards. So this might be his first feature length or his first notable feature. Yeah, it is. He did Hale County, and then he did a documentary short called Easter Snap. And now he's got Nickel Boys, and he's getting acclaim like across the board from critics, from award ceremonies, and the like.
Deservedly so.
Yeah,
And whoever did the sound should get recognition also because you're hearing these horrendous, like whippings and beatings. You're hearing it and you're not seeing a lot of it because of these unique camera angles.
right.
And that, puts you on edge as the viewer. And it's done tremendously well.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Beautiful film to look at. Very, very important subject matter. Racism is never easy to discuss or portray on film or any artistic medium, but I think this film did it very appropriately and with a lot of respect to the actual subjects. So yeah, that's Nickel Boys. And I wanted to mention I'm Still Here is currently in theaters, select theaters, and also Nickel Boys I believe is has left theaters, but you could still catch it streaming, available to buy on Amazon Prime. So it is definitely worth the price of the digital ticket or what have you. Um,
And let me just throw
yeah,
this in. I saw I'm Still Here at the Kew Garden Cinema, which is a independent film house and quote unquote art house where they'll play films like this. And why should it be so difficult when you have a tremendous film to even find it in a theater where it was one of a handful of theaters in the entire New York area? You have schlock franchise films, that's playing in thousands of theaters, but you have a beautiful art film where it's tough to even find it, and
uh,
it's like it's kind of backwards the way it should be.
It's so sad, and I totally agree with you. And even the Kew Garden Cinema, which I went to that screening as well. I went to that theater to see it there as well. They also show now, within the past couple of years, they've been playing more blockbusters to kind of get audiences back into the theater. I love smaller films, independent dramedies, and yeah, I'm Still Here was just perfectly at home at the Kew Garden Cinema. But now I guess they're getting a little, the business is not as booming. So they've been incorporating movies like Sonic the Hedgehog and, Mufasa, Lion King, and all this stuff that I have no interest in seeing personally. So, but they still have a nice mix, is what I'm saying, of the art house stuff and the blockbusters. So it's good to bring audiences back. It's kind of like we're luring them back into that theater, which is my favorite movie theater in Queens. I'm saying that right now. I think I've said it before, but Kew Garden Cinemas is just a beautiful theater. It was built in the 30s, and it's got it's just a great feel about it. You feel like you're in a movie house from like the old
You
days.
have all these classic film posters. It's almost like visiting a film museum, and you have to support neighborhood theaters, art houses, independent theaters, or else, they go by the wayside. And it would be a shame to lose a theater like that or any of the art houses in New York because there's a fraction as many as when I was young.
Yeah.
When I back in the 70s and 80s, you had tons and tons of art houses, and
Hmm.
they're all multiplexes or they're gone,
Yeah.
just plain gone. So
I remember the Trilon on Queens Boulevard. I remember what was the one across from the Queens Center Mall? Was it the
I
Elm?
grew up in Brooklyn, so I wouldn't
Oh,
remember.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
there was one by the mall. I think it was called the Elmwood, which was good. That went out of business in the early 2000s. Trilon went out of business in I think the late 90s. So now we have the Midway, which shows nothing but bigger films, which is
Uh,
sad.
every once in a while, they'll show a foreign film
Yeah.
or an art film, but
Okay.
the majority are superheroes and kid movies and franchises. Yeah.
That's why I really value Kew Gardens because that's like one of the last standing art house theaters, and it just feels good walking into that theater. And and they have cherry Coke, which is great. It
And it's reasonably priced.
is, it
Yeah.
is. So I didn't realize we're gonna do like a commercial for the theater, but okay, yeah, it's
Well, it's not specifically for one theater. The idea is support art houses
right.
or they will disappear. Yeah.
Agreed, agreed. That is well said, sir. Well said. So I want to switch gears a little bit. Evan, I know you have a new book out. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
And it is called Wrestling Rings, Blackboards, and Movie Sets. And it basically chronicles your career, your passions, specifically within the entertainment and film industries, and of course, the wrestling industry. I know you've interviewed and worked with a number of great talent over the decades, and and continue to do so, which I highly respect. It's great. I read an excerpt from your book. It was wonderful, where you were on a plane ride with Johnny Valiant during September 11th, 2003, when things were still a little, dicey, to say the least. But the book is great from what I've read, and congratulations again.
Thanks so much.
What was the beginning of it all? What was the spark that was like, okay, I need to put this on paper?
I was teaching adult English second language. I get a call from my boss. We're shutting down. It's COVID. I
Mm,
go to the gym. We're shutting down because of COVID. I go to the local diner. I can't pay the bills. I can't pay the bills on takeout. We're shutting down the diner.
Jesus.
And I was like everything I loved, I enjoyed was, we were quarantined. So I said, I want to keep my sanity. And every day I woke up and I wrote.
Mm,
Basically, I wrote a story a day. I wrote 100+ stories during COVID. And
mm,
this became the book. And I was writing about my life in chronological order. And I've
mm.
been a wrestling agent. And as you stated, I was associate producer on The Wrestler. I acted with Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. We improv that scene.
Mhm.
Um, we had a meet up with Nicolas Cage
Wow.
when we could not get the funding from Mickey's name at the time.
Oh.
We were looking for 18 million to do the wrestler. We got 6 million.
Hmm.
And so all of a sudden I'm in front of a classroom one day. The next day I'm meeting up with Nicolas Cage. Darren Aronofsky wants me to take him to a wrestling show, in case we end up working with him, which did not happen. But I meet him and I take him to this wrestling show and we're watching it together. And he's like, Evan, is this real? I go, well, it's physical, but it's predetermined. So yeah, there's a ton of stories,
Hmm.
working with wrestling legends, meeting and working with film legends. I've worked on a bunch of films since The Wrestler. If you're a cinephile, there's meetings with, encounters with Richard Pryor and a ton of different celebrities. And
Basically, it's the story of your life, a memoir. And like anyone's life, it is a true dramedy. The highs and lows in life, what we go through, pain and joy. And
tragedy.
yeah, yeah, but you tell it very well. You tell it like it is. When I was reading the excerpt, I definitely read it in your voice. I definitely had you in my mind when you're the way you speak, the voice. So that was pretty cool. I had a question. I don't think I've ever asked you, but since you're so entrenched in the wrestling industry, have you yourself ever wrestled?
I have never wrestled, but I have heel managed. What that means is I'll get in the ring with the bad guys and I'm their mouthpiece and
Oh,
I'll insult the guys in the first row and it's a lot of fun,
right.
but I have to tell the promoter I am not trained. Make sure your boys don't put their hands on me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be bad.
I don't know how to
Chair
take
to the
a
back of the
bump.
head.
Yeah, so I'll tell you a funny story. We're at Cyclone Stadium where the Mets farm team is in Brooklyn. So I get on the mic and I go, "Hey everybody, I'm from Brooklyn," and they applaud. And
Uh,
my mother was from Brooklyn, Snedeker and Livonia, and they applaud. And my family goes back 50 years in Brooklyn, and they applaud. And I go, and guess what? Thank God I got out of this hellhole and moved to Hollywood. I'm the bad guy. So now the whole place erupts in boos, and I'm like washing in it. Like I did my job and I got the exact reaction that I wanted. So that's what a heel manager does.
Very, very cool. Okay, I did not know that. Is that in the book too, or?
Yes, yes, it
Okay,
is. Yeah.
perfect. Cool. All right, Evan. So we have maybe a minute left. Are there any other projects you're working on now? Anything you want to plug while you're on here?
I am working on a book on wrestling legend John Tolos, who is a great, great talker, a great villain, and that should be out later this year. And multiple film projects in the work that were delayed because of COVID. You can check out my social media. It's under Evan Ginsberg Facebook or Evan Ginsberg's Old School Wrestling Memories. And the book is available on Amazon. And, thank you, Randy, for your support. And it's always fun talking movies. And I might not have seen these movies had it not been for you
Oh,
because
hey.
you motivated me to see it for this show today. And I'm glad I did. And
I
people need people like you
uh,
because all the hype, all the money goes towards the blockbusters, not the little art films. Who's going to hear about Nickel Boys or I'm Still Here unless guys like yourself are really promoting it because all the money's going into Wicked and everything
I
else.
know it's such a shame, and we could talk hours, talking about the current state of movie audiences. I try to be respectful of all the standard moviegoers. At my day job, I work with a lot of great people, but they really don't know about I'm Still Here or The Substance or something like that. But there's people that we need to educate them. You're right. You're absolutely right, and I think it's one of my missions. My main mission with this show is to inform and not only to entertain, but to inform, educate about quality cinema because these are the movies that are very important. They're telling a very important story. They're, just I can't praise the two films we just discussed tonight. They're both extremely important, and again, we need more eyes and ears on these films. It's
I
true.
wholeheartedly recommend the Criterion Channel and Mubi, M-U-B-I, the greatest films ever made on those two channels. Trust me.
All right. Well, with that, we are about out of time. I just want to mention some plugs from my end. If you want to check out new episodes of Under the Radar, you can check out Slam Radio through SiriusXM every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and also on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Also, the video version of Under the Radar is available on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and that's every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. As always, feel free to subscribe to the Under the Radar YouTube channel and share it with your friends and family. Share the love. So, Evan Ginsberg, thank you again. This was great.
Thank
And
you.
I hope to see you again real soon.
Absolutely.
So, guys, I'm Randy Younger. This has been Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. We'll see you next time. Take care.